Hello, everyone. I want to tell you that I'm wearing black. Clearly, we know. I usually don't. The main reason for it is because within the next few hours, it's a very high chance that we will have the blackout. You know what I'm talking about. So this interview might happen, might not happen with Pimpy, but I think we will still have enough time. I want to tell you that everything will be fine. Many people are not aware what's really taking place, so they might freak out. Those who know are in much, much better position, as we know, as we are. And I would like to mention another thing that's actually, I was thinking, how can I help those who have small businesses and they are really struggling with clients now and with getting some business from those places. So I want to mention this to anyone who's watching me who lives either in California, New York, or Nevada. Actually, those three states are the places where I used to live. So if anyone lives there and has a small business, doesn't matter what kind of business it is, you can reach out to me. The email you will find when you go to the bio and you see about, you can find my email there. You can send me a message. You can go on my website, anyak44.com, anyak44.com. You can also scroll down and put your email there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mention your businesses at least once a week during my videos. I don't have big platform like many other people, but whoever is watching, you know, it might still help people to continue whatever it is, but just to bring you hope and help you as much as I can with what I have. So thank you so much. Be safe, guys. All is good. Everything is good. It will be a little bit turbulation, but we will get through this. And let's wait for Pimpy now. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
We go. We have a special treat today with two dogs of Pimpy. I love them.
Well, this one here, that's Lizzie Booba. She's the alpha of the house. This other one over here, this is McLovin.
Oh my gosh, Pimpy. This is like, you know what? This is the best what could happen today, besides the blackout.
You gotta get off me. Yeah, so we moving everything. Our room become the dumping ground for the other rooms while they're being remodeled. And this remodeling's taking a while, so you know it's like terrible in here, and I'm all clustered and cluttered. And here, you guys, I'll give a piece of my chicken. They'll leave. Here, go. So how you been?
Pimpy, you look great. That was a good trip.
Thank you.
It was a great trip, I guess, because you look like you're totally refreshed.
It was an experience of a lifetime, that's for sure. You know, I enjoyed it. I didn't actually get my rest until I got home. I've been sleeping for like about a day or so, but yeah, it was the whole time I was there. I don't think I slept very much at all. I mean, there was too much going on, and trying to take everything in. You know what I mean? Because it was definitely a lot of energy there. It was really nice.
So how many days?
How have you been?
I've been good.
Good. Oh, let's see that smile get a little bigger at least, huh? There it is. So I don't know if you want to edit this part out or not. I think you said you're trying to get a hold of Nick. Is that right?
Yes.
Nicholas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to reach out to him?
I did, but he hasn't responded.
I'll get a hold of him.
Thank you. So Pimpy, I want to ask you, because when I saw, first of all, I want to tell you this. Some of my subscribers, I think quite few, are loving you so much, and they were asking me what happened to Pimpy, right? And then I went on your channel, the hidden things at the front of your eyes, and then I see your face. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, Pimpy went to Washington. I didn't know. And I
told people in a video, but I mean, I think I did. Maybe I didn't. But I told people if I'm not, if you don't see me for a little bit, it's because I'm going to Washington for the week. I was able to somehow squeeze in 2 videos while I was there.
Oh, I lost your sound.
Sorry about that. It's okay when somebody calls and does that. Sorry about that. So when I was, you know, it was hard to do videos there. There's a lot of locations where you go they cut off the transmissions. No cell phone, no, no texting. You know what I mean? You can't get on social media just for protection purposes. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. They don't want you to remote detonate something.
Yes. So how did you feel there? Because you were part of the history. This will go into the history like for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, actually, I have no doubt it will. So, we wanted to leave on a Monday because we wouldn't arrive till Tuesday, and the event was on Wednesday. So we figured, with all the flight time and everything, you don't want to land there the day of the event. You would just be too exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way there, all of a sudden we found out that flights going into Washington were being canceled, which we thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I can't complain because our layover was in Vegas for the night. So, I can never get mad at that. And so I played, played all my favorite games and do what I normally do when I'm there, drink. And I hung out with a friend of mine. And then the next morning, they flew us into Baltimore.
Okay.
All kinds of nice people there. There's a lady that she's a flight attendant, and she's scolding people about not wearing their mask.
Uh-huh.
And she comes walking by me, and I said, so, I don't know if this has dawned on you, but this is a plane full of Trump supporters. Wow. They're non-maskers. I said, you're not going to get any of them to comply. So she was like, oh. Then they started singing, it was cool to see everybody sing the national anthem together, just being a lot of unity. That's just on the plane ride. When we got into Washington, D.C., man, I'm going to tell you some cool stories. We got into we got into Baltimore, and I'm like, we're like a half hour away from Washington, trying to figure out how we're going to get there. Everybody's like, hey, you got a ride? You guys want to partner up? Let's partner up. And one of these guys like, look, I already rented a car. I'll give you a ride. I think you guys are staying like 2 blocks from where I'm at. We're like, sweet. So we get there into Washington. So just like that, you meet a group of people. None of us know each other. Well, I know my friend. Here we are talking about everything, sharing the whole experience so far. We get there to Washington. It is bone chilling cold there. I can tolerate cold, like real cold, but that cold is just nasty, man. It was going right to my bones. And I was like, wow, I bought a jacket just in case. Mm-hmm. But, I never usually need it. I have a pea coat that I absolutely love. This gentleman walked up to us asking for warm food. All he had on was a T-shirt. And I was like, yeah, man. So I gave him my jacket, But I was concerned. You want to know why? It's because I was afraid some other person might beat him up for the jacket. But he absolutely needed it. Because let me tell you something. If we go anywhere and I'm cold, then it's really cold. Because I don't get cold easy at all.
Wow.
So also in addition to that, a lady named Melissa. When I told everybody I was thinking about going there, but I wasn't sure if they'd have rooms available. She's this nice lady that coordinated for a bunch of strangers. She blocked off rooms for us.
Nice.
So she was a wonder. Yeah. So we got there. We had a room, and but that's how it was. The strangest thing was this: there's a bunch of us together, and here's what we figured out. We all felt compelled to go. Not like, hey, maybe I want to go, or yeah, maybe no. It was, man, at any cost, you need to get there. Everybody had the same weird feeling. The other thing is everybody came by themselves. Their spouses were invited, their significant other, husband, wives, whatever. And for whatever reason, they were like, no, yeah, you just go ahead and go, which is weird because most of us in relationships, the husbands or your wives usually want to go with you. So for one reason or another, but that wasn't the case. They were totally fine with what was going on. And I thought, man, there's something definitely going on here. This isn't just about Trump. It never was.
Yes.
There's a more of a spiritual thing. But then when the rally came, oh my God, the crowd was so large. When Trump came on and people started cheering and roaring, you could literally feel the ground go. I was like, I told my friend, do you feel that? He's like, yeah, the ground is shaking. And I was like, we could see the crowd kind of, but when you get up at a higher point where the, they had some like, what do you want to call scaffolding or whatever. When you look out at the crowd and you get past the trees, it was even bigger. I was like, there's like 3.5 million people there. It was phenomenal.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Pimpy. because you said it was over 3 million, right? That is like massive. I thought it was about 1.7. It was over 3 million. Wow.
Yeah, so you hear all kinds of things, but here's what some of the things they're not talking about. So the rally had people, but let me tell you behind this. So we were in, I believe it's called Ellipsis Park. So, you know, it was about 20, 30,000 people there.
Mm-hmm.
But behind us, where the Washington Memorial was, there was no room. Throughout that entire field, into the streets behind and around the memorial, other blocks in the streets going that way. Plus, there were people already at the Capitol. So when, you know, we heard all kinds of rumors, and a police guy said, is there a way you guys actually can tell how many people are here? He goes, actually, there is. You see the things flying over us? I go, yeah. He goes, we got to have fairly close accuracy in order to write up reports if necessary. I said, so from the helicopter? He goes, yeah. I go, did it tell you how many people is here? He goes, between the Capitol and this crowd here, it's about 3.5 million people.
Wow.
I said, holy man.
Incredible. I have to tell you, I am so proud to know you. Like, I saw you were there and I felt like, oh my God, like, it's incredible. It's like almost I was not there, but I know you. So I felt like a little fraction of me was there too. It was incredible.
That's what I told people. You guys were out there in spirit. You'd probably, yeah, I was like, look, trust me, everybody's there in spirit with us. They really were. Mm-hmm. The camaraderie, you would have had your mind blowing. You know how they're like, oh, this white supremacy meeting. No, like 70% of the people were minorities. The news won't show you that. Yeah. We've seen people with signs. We've seen Catholics, Jewish people, Orthodox Jews, the Jesuits were there, Christians, Iranians for Trump, blacks for Trumps, Latinos for Trumps, Filipinos for Trumps, Iranians for Trumps. I mean, they had all these different groups there. And I said, you see, this is why we can't trust the media. Exactly. Trump is way more. And let me tell you something, that crowd scared the crap out of them. They realized just right then and there how powerful Trump is. And now you see them doing this crap. What is this? They tried to do the 25th Amendment. The Republicans said no. Now they're trying to impeach again. It's not going to work. You know, they're scared of Trump, and they should be. You know what I mean?
So, Pimpy, I just heard Simon Parkes and Charlie Ward and this lady, I think from Holland, from Netherlands, they just had this chat about that within the next 5 hours, we're gonna have the, you know, the blackout thing. So in honor of this, I'm wearing.
It's already happening. It's already happening.
Is it?
The Vatican's blacked out. Pakistan is blacked out.
Yeah. But I'm talking like completely. They will shut out the media and other platforms, and it will.
Yeah, they have to. You want to know why? Now remember, we were told that if they try to stop Trump from speaking to the public and his followers, that he would use the emergency broadcast system.
Yes.
Now, do you see how Google controls a big part of that? What goes out on our phones? And they said they're not going to allow him to do that because they don't want him spreading false information. I was like, see, they know their asses are in a pickle. There's so much panic there. It's not even funny. The people, first of all, a big portion of that Capitol breach was staged. It wasn't, trust me when I tell you, if you've seen a lot of the videos, you go, no, this is staged. This wasn't like BLM or Antifa. It wasn't like that at all. People went into the house and they went to the floor and they prayed. I'm talking about people who went in there. They went to the house floor and prayed. The guy was there, he's like, I think we should do a prayer. And they went down on the floor and prayed. You don't hear about that. Do you think BLM or Antifa stops somewhere and goes, hey, we should all pray real quick? No, they don't. So when they try to say that Trump supporters are the worst, no, they're not. They are very, very much a real threat to this agenda that's going on. And a big part of that is because they're God-loving people as well.
Yes.
And it's God's love and guidance and strength that powers these people, and that's why they're protected.
Yes, that was so good. You just said this. I love it. Because that's the true power. And this is the most terrifying. Yes. Exactly. It's the most terrifying. And you know, Pimpy, I cannot wait when all this shit will go down. I cannot.
Well, here's what I tell people. And I say it this way for a reason. And people get all pissy about it. They're like, oh, you're not a patriot no more. Oh, you gave up on a plan. Oh, no, that's not what this is about. I'm saying we have to be careful about the information that we share. because we don't want to mislead people or give people false hope at this time right now.
Yes.
Everybody has to be on the same page. We have to be in tune with each other, and we also got to be in tune with God. Trust me when I tell you this. You have to. All right? So when you think about that and you hear Trump has implemented the Insurrection Act, I was like, there's no proof of that. None whatsoever. It would be nice if he did, and he should. And I do think he's going to do it. I did see a post that looked like it came from Trump's Parler account, but I wasn't able to validate it.
I lost your voice. Someone's calling.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Someone's calling. But
Yeah,
Pimpy,
so I said,
but Pimpy, Parler is already down.
yeah, it's gonna. I told people this is most likely we're getting ready to go into our 10 days of blackness and darkness. You want to know why? They cannot afford, while Trump's in office for these remaining days, to be able to tell the people the truth. Lynn Wood is the greatest
hero
defamation attorney here in the United States. And the fact that he's going out there calling these people pedophiles, knowing that he could be sued for defamation and he's not scared, no, he would not do that unless he absolutely positively had proof. So Pelosi's laptop got stolen. A lot of the phones and computers in the offices weren't taken but moved. So what we heard, again, these are rumors. We heard that a Delta Force was able to get in there dressed in all black like a Trump supporter or like one of these people. They swiped Pelosi's laptop. They took the things that they plug in the computer and downloaded all the information off the phones, the iPads, everything. So right now they've been going through it since Friday. So I'm pretty sure this is why they're panicking, because whatever is on there most likely is the plan that they put together to fake this false flag with the Capitol.
Yes, I think, if I might share how I feel about it, I think that was actually also staged with those laptops. I think they are so in control of everything. It's just the public still doesn't see it. He's already won, he's gonna continue, and this is the final stage. Now,
we are going to find out real quick here. So here's my opinion on this, because people say, where do you think we're at? I think we're getting ready to go into the 10 days of darkness. If we're not, we're already there. Just because communication is becoming harder. 60,000 more conservatives removed off of Twitter. Trump has been banned from all platforms. Even Parler now has been removed from the ISO. So the ability to communicate is now very, very limited. Having said that, if there is that evidence out there that's going to change everything, it's going to come out within the next couple of days. It has to. They are at neck-breaking speed trying to impeach Trump. So you tried to use the 25th. I'm like, what are you guys panicking for? There's supposedly, according to you, 10 days left. So if that was the truth and you knew he had nothing, why are you guys panicking? They know their ass is in a sling, is what it is. Yeah, we heard the rumor that the Pope was arrested. Now, I wasn't able to validate it, but somebody that I do know that truly is connected to the FBI, he's like, well, what we're hearing is that's the truth. Now, I can't 100% confirm it, but I could tell you from what we're hearing, that seems to be the truth. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
That should be big news.
I think he was arrested in April when there was a hologram presented when he showed up in the window. So honestly, I think we cannot have this confirmation now from many, many things that are taking place, because this is really behind the scene operation. You don't want any leaks of those things.
Well, this is why you're seeing these blackouts in certain areas, because what's happening is this can't just be whatever this movement is, both bad and good. The good people can't just do it in one area and be content, because they'll just find another way to come back. This has to be a worldwide strategical event.
Yep.
So in my opinion, it appears that these blackouts you're seeing in all these countries are our version of taking down the so-called bad or elites. I hate calling them elites. Let's just call them bad guys. That works. these criminals.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So it looks, so if this is the case, you have to think about this. That means that this thing was planned long before Trump. The military people, the so-called good guys from other nations had to meet up one day and said, we're all in this meeting.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? And they had to plan this out, is what they did. So, and then they found the people that they could help put in the office to help make this happen. And here we are right now. You know, I was talking to somebody and I said, look, because they always bring this up. Sometimes I hesitate to always talk about my relationship with God, how I talk to God and Jesus both, because people always go, they make jokes, and it's fine. It's funny because I have a sense of humor. But what I don't want people to do is like, I don't like when people judge me about it. It makes me mad. Don't judge me. You don't know me. So having said that, I was talking about how throughout history, we've been to this point before, where this battle between good and evil. So that, you know, people go, well, the Bible talks about Armageddon. It's only one time. I go, no. It's happened before. Trust me. I know. I asked. So during the days of Neo and all these, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, these were all these different times where we've been this close to where we are now.
Yes.
And so through the grace of God and the people reaching out to God saying, help us, and we get help. This time though, now, sweetie, this one's different. There is no do-over. Where we're at now would, in my opinion, be considered as close as you can get to what the Christians and Bible thumpers call Armageddon. You know, there are angels here. I can tell you that.
100%, Pimpy. 100%.
Yes.
The guardians, okay? And this to me is the second Christ coming. And I'm not talking religion.
Yes.
I'm talking the consciousness of the humanity.
Yes, that's what I tell people all the time. People are like, well, Christ is going to come back. I go, well, Christ never left. What they're talking about, the second coming of Christ, is us moving into the Christ conscious.
Exactly.
It's, well, they use a word that I hate. They call it the harvest. So what happens is we get to this point in time in which people who have learned what they're supposed to learn throughout their many lifetimes are either at the point of harvest where we get moved into the next evolutional level, another dimension, and those who failed the test continue to suffer here in hell, because that's where we are, and have to go back to school and do it all over. So harvest time is here. That's where we are. So this conscious movement is, we've all saw the line in the sand. We've now chosen the team we want to be on.
100%.
So we're going to let
100%.
We're going to let it play out.
I agree with this so much. And you know, just going back to this event that took place in the Capitol, how I feel from like outside watching this, I think it was one of the most brilliant moves they could create, because what that did, that stage event, to those
You're breaking up just a little, sweetie. You're breaking up just a little.
To those,
you sounded like a robot for like a hot second.
I'm
like,
already on
I
the.
said, wait a minute, she's a clone. She's a robot.
Not yet. But who knows?
So yeah, the event.
No, but what I want to say, Pimpy, you know what I want to say, that this event, how I came to, I received downloads lately, a lot of downloads. Okay.
Well, if you receive download, let me ask you if the same thing's happening to you. Do you feel like all of a sudden there's like this massive amount being pushed at you at one time? Do you know what I'm talking about? That feeling of there's a lot of information being downloaded. It seems to be coming faster than before.
For me, it's different. For me, the time.
Well, it's definitely different.
Well, time stopped to exist for me. Like, time became completely irrelevant. If I don't check the calendar or iPhone, I really don't know what day, okay? So time doesn't exist for me. Also the hours, I don't have the sense of it anymore. But the downloads I receive.
Yeah, I have no sense of time. Sometimes I don't even know what day it is. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, exactly. So time doesn't exist.
I'm gonna snack while you're talking real quick, sorry.
Okay, so what I want to say is my downloads are very early in the morning when I wake up, when you're the most receptive, your brain is the most receptive to receive very fresh. You're still like, you know, coming from one
Yes.
space to another. My downloads are the topics, images, like snapshots of the movie, and a very exact information, the dog, very exact information what happened. So, oh, so sweet.
What you doing, bud? Oh,
So,
that's what he wants. He don't love me. He's just trying to eat my food.
no, I like the dog. So I want to say that that event that took place in Capitol, which was staged, it was brilliant move for many reasons. I'm not talking laptops. Laptops is a different story, which I think everything was on these laptops. They already know. So this is just done to the public to kind of show them now we have it. We know there is. This is all planned in my sense. This is not.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's all planned, okay? For those who are just barely catching up. But Pimpy, that event was done because this is the final stage of cleaning those Republicans, right? So they freaked out, and there was at the same time they were deciding about those things that were taking place on the 3rd of November. So that was brilliant, because then you had the last people who were like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrifying! This is terrifying! We gotta decide!
No.
We gotta decide!" And they decided.
The media really hyped it up.
Yeah.
So here's what this is just my opinion. I think they planned this false flag event somehow, some way. The right people also found out about it, and they used this event to swipe up these laptops. Is what they did. And so we heard rumors about people all dressed in black. They look like Delta is who they look like. And you couldn't recognize them. Faces are covered. They got the goggles. They have the right gear on. And they were moving through the crowds as a team. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely. If it wasn't somebody official, then they're definitely former. And they went in there to do what was necessary to get evidence that we might need as Americans, is what I think happened. But I do think it's Trump, is what it is.
Yes, 100%. So now this 10 days,
No.
I don't think it will be 10. I think it will be 3. And it will not last as long as everyone thinks. But I just heard it will be 3 days, up to 4. But you know, Pimpy, the thing with those gorge dams in China, I just want to talk about this for a moment. You know, I don't really care about Bitcoin, but people do. In that part of China, they have the mining for Bitcoin, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if whatever they are saying now, like Simon Parks and this lady, and then Charlie was in this chat as well, they are saying that if it will go, because they're going to affect all those Chinese companies, like information-wise. So that Wuhan thing, all in this area, the dams, this will crush the Bitcoin if they do that. Because they might...
There's this misconception. There's a misconception that China owns Bitcoin. They don't. The company is not in China. But what happens is China has the most miners for mining the Bitcoin.
Okay.
So if you think about this, let's say this flood happens and all these companies for whatever reason are taken out. Well, then what happens is those companies won't be mining the coins. So then what happens is there's less Bitcoins available. So now you have a scarcity. So if there's a scarcity of something, what usually happens to its value? We have people here mining Bitcoin here in America. We got them everywhere else. But China took it to a whole nother level. They got huge factories and everything else. Well, so does Tesla. He built them in Texas. They got these huge mining computers there. Now, you know, again, that's just my opinion. But, you know, people are like, well, say goodbye to Bitcoin. No, it doesn't change anything except for now there's less of them available because less people will be mining the coin. Therefore, it's a little bit more scarce. But, you know, even if they got washed away, I guarantee somebody else will pick up the slack real quick. It'll most likely be here in America.
That's interesting, you see, because I really don't follow the crypto at all. So for me, it's just the gold and silver that I care about.
Yes. Did you see what Lynn Wood? Now, you know, people are like, this guy's off his rocker. And I says, well, he's kind of in the circle of people who know what's going on. He did tweet out something about, you know, hopefully you guys are holding on to gold and silver. Get ready. And I was like, oh, we are. We're ready. Let it happen.
He did. I didn't see this, Pimpy. When was it?
Well, I showed part of it on my video, the last gold and silver video. I showed you the tweet. So I don't think I kept the tweet because once I put it on the video, I don't need to keep that stuff. It's on the video. So I'll try to send you a screenshot so you can see it.
Okay, that's amazing. So now I think you are the best person to give people now awareness about not freaking out, but being grateful for this biblical moment that we are living in right now, because this might be the last video that I will post for a while. So
why? Where are you going?
Where I'm going? No, I will be froze. I will be moving in different timelines.
Well, heck, bring your computer with you so you can share your experience with people. I'm just playing with you.
But you know what? We all don't know how this will be, as far as if there will be a window of communication on internet or anything like this. We don't know that. But what I know...
No, I think what's going to happen, though, I'm going to be honest with you, if they keep finding that they keep trying to shut everybody down and they find alternative ways to get back online. Even Trump was smart enough to get multiple accounts and he's posting, they keep shutting them down. Eventually what's going to happen, just out of pure survival instincts for the bad guys, they're going to go, look, the only other option is just to shut everything down. Yeah. Everything. And so, you know, that takes us back to what we were told, and that is we're going to use the emergency broadcast system as a form of communications. Well, now I told you, even Google has found a way to stop it when it comes to some of the phones. Now, we'll see if this is true or not. But even so, it's not going to stop at 100%. Once word gets out, it's going to spread like hotcakes. But don't be surprised. And again, this is just my opinion. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden they don't turn off your TV, computer, no internet, no cell phone, no anything. Because we're at that level right now.
Yes. And actually, can I share this with you quickly?
Of course you can.
I've experienced this in my life. When I was 8 years old.
Keep snacking. I hope you don't mind. I'm sorry.
No, I don't mind. As long as you're listening. When I was 8 years old and the Marshall War was announced in Poland, I will never forget this. It was 1981. And I tell you why. It was Sunday, and on Sunday 9 a.m. we always had this program for children, like movies and plays and games. So everyone.
This is 1981, you said?
1981 in Poland.
Well, why do I know it? I remember something about, there was a movement. This guy had this thing, Solidarity. Is that the same?
Yes, Solidarność.
I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, but that.
Yeah, I do. I remember.
That was actually. Okay, so this event took place on December 13, 1981. You know, and I tell you how in real life it looked like for me. So I'm the child, I go to the TV, I turn on, we had only 2 channels in the time, you know, 81, okay? Channel 1, channel 2. 9 a.m., I want to see like the stuff for children, okay? Like movies, fun. And there's nothing pimpy. It's only this shh, okay? And then all of a sudden it's like, we, emergency. And then you see the face of the general.
That's scary.
Then you see the face of the general who is in power of the country, and he's giving the speech to the citizens of Poland. That's how it was. And then everything was closed. The school were closed, everything. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was closed.
I just don't know if it's your phone or mine. Every little bit, every now and then, it just cuts out, and I'm wondering if it's mine. Maybe
I think it's from my side because sometimes internet is not. Yeah, it's internet here.
Oh, okay. Well, already we're going into the darkness. They're trying to stop us. See how it goes.
So anyway, Pimpy, there was nothing on TV, literally nothing for like, I don't remember now if it was whole day or 2 days or hours, but
As a child, I mean, did you have a grasp on kind of what was going on? Or were you like, gosh damn it, where's my cartoons? You know what I mean? Like, did you have an idea what was going on?
to some extent, but I have to tell you, I actually wrote this in my book. The whole chapter is dedicated to this time when I was experiencing this, because it's not only that much that that there was nothing for children or for anyone actually on TV, but what was the most impactful on people that on the street were the Russian soldiers. And when you went to, it was almost empty on the street, and it was winter, Polish winter, really cold. And then we went to the church within this time, and they were spraying the gas, and you know, the tear gas in the church, so people will not gather and come together. So I remember.
Did you just say they tear gassed you guys while you're in church?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
From the outside, not like they go inside, from the outside into inside. So I you know, those moments stay within your consciousness. Like I remember exactly that was the time. I kind of have like glimpses, like I don't remember everything day by day, but I remember the key points, like how was the street, the school was closed, the general, the army, the soldiers, the gas, and then a lot of things. Now when I look, Pimpy, I see how much fighting was taking place. Like police was beating up people. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
Well, we're kind of there now here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was growing up.
So here's my question. So you have martial law going on. How prevalent was the military? Were they like everywhere? Or were you like, you knew they were in different areas?
They were everywhere. And this was actually Russia, you know, Russia was like taking over Poland, you know, that was this time. Like this was, this was communism. This was real communism, people.
Are you talking about the USSR? People
That's
forget
right.
that was their name.
Totally. That's right. USSR. And we had the tanks and the soldiers. And yeah, I mean, honestly, they were like everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, as close to a teenager, when a lot, well, not in the 90s, but in the 80s, when a lot of stuff was going on, I told people, you know, having these idiots in Congress run around claiming to be socialists, man, if you tried that crap in the 80s, they would have hung you. Nobody was going to tolerate that. No communism, no socialism. You know, we've come a long way since then, you know what I mean? You know, this day of social justice acceptance, it shouldn't be to the point where they're a danger to your nation. You know what I mean? That's when you say, hey, no, we don't want to deal with this social justice warrior crap or this all-inclusive stuff, because it's now become a national threat to us, a national security issue.
But Pimpy, look.
I mean, come on, we got Swellwell, who's having sex with a Chinese spy, sitting on our intelligence agencies, and the Democratic leaders knew this, as well as there was a Chinese spy that for 20 years was the assistant to Dianne Feinstein. This isn't by accident. They were aware of it.
They were actually put in place intentionally. And another thing is what I think is incredible time right now when this is all going to be cleaned. Look at the Supreme Court in the United States. How many of them, at this point, there is no other way just to have the military court. No other way, in my opinion.
No, they're compromised. But here's the thing. I was watching, I don't know if you ever seen a YouTube channel called Valuetainment. This gentleman, he has great interviews on there, but he was interviewing a former intelligence officer who was, you know, he specialized in China. But he said from, you know, everything he knew, all the technology from the stealing our intellectual property to them buying influence into companies and still getting data to bribing officials to, you know, blackmailing officials. They ended up where they started getting everybody's data, your texts, your phones, your videos, your websites, your emails. They have it all. So they have a profile on every single person in the United States.
Yes.
You understand how dangerous that is. So
Yeah.
they control our politicians, both at the state and federal level. They control the courts because I'm sure there's some type of dirt that people don't want out. If they couldn't blackmail them, then they try to bribe them. If they couldn't bribe them, then I'm absolutely sure they probably threaten their lives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a combination of the three.
Yes, and this
which
is
is
what
very dangerous.
it is, because but this is exactly what the Shadowgate was talking about. This is exactly that.
It's they were smart. They used our own laws and constitution against us as a weapon, is what they did, to the point then they started violating our constitution. So it's different now, you know.
But
so
I thought the Constitution was rewritten in order, like they created a new version of it to, so it was like an 18, what was it? What year? In 1800.
yeah, it's funny because most people don't know that there's two constitutions. It's funny you say that.
Two constitutions, exactly. So now,
Yeah.
Pimpy, what we had the 45 was the last president. Now we're gonna have republic.
Well, the saying goes, he's the last president of the corporation.
Of the corporation, exactly.
But once the republic is restored, then that person would be the new president of the restored public. Now, you want to hear something funny? I don't know how much truth this. Me and my friend were talking. He said, "Hey, so Lincoln was the last president of the republic. He was the 16th president.
Okay.
So if Trump restores the republic and he becomes a president, all those presidents between them weren't actually presidents. They were CEOs.
They were
that would make, yeah, they were CEOs of a corporation. So technically, if when the republic is restored, that would make Trump the 17th president.
Oh.
When I heard that, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. You know, there's no such thing as coincidences. There's only synchronicity.
Pimpy, and you know what? And Lincoln was inaugurated on March 4th. Hallelujah. March 4th. That's what it was. Lincoln was on March 4th. So we're gonna have a kind of replay from, like we like he said, he's writing the history. He's writing the history. That's it.
It seems to, in a lot of ways, be repeating itself, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
But each time it comes back a little bit stronger than before. So this is, now you know why the Democrats always want to take down our statues, change our textbooks, get rid of our history. They don't want you to learn from history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I want to ask you, last question, Pimpy?
Go ahead.
Tell me, your feeling how this will look in California. Tell me, how this will go in California.
So, communist California. Like that, huh? So, right now, if I'm sure you should be aware, or if you should be aware, if not aware, that they are now only a couple 100,000 signatures away from recalling Gavin Newsom. Now, again, a big part of that is you have to rely on the fact that the new election isn't rigged. You know what I mean? And they just turn around and put another puppet in there. We had a red wave despite a rigged election. If we can get this recall happening and they lose California, that is so damaging to the Democratic Party, because hopefully you get somebody in there that, like Scott when he ran, saying, no, we're going to get rid of all the illegals. We don't want them voting. They can't be here. It's against the law. So if you get a Republican in here that is Trump-like, that kills the Democratic Party, because you won't be able to use the illegal votes to help get people into office, and you can't. It won't allow them to stay in power. The next person that gets in that's a Republican needs to end in California the jungle primaries, and that is the people who get the most votes will be who are in the general, which is bad because it's always Democrats because of the number of Democratic people here. It should be you get one Republican, one Democrat, period.
May I say something? May I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a feeling then there will be no more Democratic Party and Republican Party. I think something completely brand new will emerge, and those two are not going to exist after anymore.
The American Patriot Party.
There we go.
I'm trying to push that. I'm ready for that. You ready? Everybody, let's do this. I said, if Trump started a new political party, not Democrat, not Republican, instantaneously it would become the most powerful political party. Yes. Because you have Democrats that left the Democrat supporters that left the Democrats. You have the Republicans out there in full force. You would have libertarians there as well. I mean, they would easily be the strongest political party, knocking out all kinds of Republicans and Democrats. It'd be more of a centrist party is what you want. And that's what they would be. Constitutional party is what we need.
Don't you think that there was this fear in people for a long time that California will completely be like out of US, like it won't be part of US anymore? I don't think it will go this way. I think we actually will be very united. How you feel about this?
Okay. So talk about California succeeding from the Union.
In a way, yeah. That's what I've heard. It was like a lot of people were afraid about this.
So Texas is talking about doing it.
And New York also, Pimpy. New York State as well.
Well, they want to separate the states is what they want to do. You know, liberals all have their side with their progressives, conservatives on their side. But that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the piss poor financial management that these leaders have, they would be broke in no time versus what goes on with the Republicans. Now, as far as California seceding, yeah, I heard that rumor. But, you know, technically, they've already succeeded from the Union. And what I mean by that, their minds mentally are loopy. These people are in a whole other world, so they can't grasp reality. Therefore, they're not even there anyways. They think they're on their own planet. It really is that bad. Now, generally speaking, because there's a lot of us in California who are grounded, but if you listen to Hollywood and the media here and the politicians here, you're like, what planet are these freaking people from? It's exactly what it is.
What are we doing here, Pimpy?
God only knows, man, because I tell you, I have no idea. I've been thinking about moving into Nevada. When I was there, I was eyeballing some homes for around $500,000, knowing, in my opinion, that by the end of this next first quarter, going into the second quarter, you know, there's going to be a drop in homes. Now again, people calm down out there. I said, if Trump is not in office. But I mean, even if he's in office, I think you're going to see, you know, the death of the dollar. It's inevitable before he goes to gold and silver. So what I'm hoping is to see a decline in the market value of homes, then a revaluation of gold and silver, so I could go buy my homes. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So yeah, but you know, a $500,000 home I could probably get for about $200,000.
I tell you, I lived in Las Vegas for many years, so I can tell you the areas. And I have an idea really still about Vegas real estate market, because I was there also when it was a crash.
Henderson, for some reason, seems appealing. I'm not sure why, but it looks a little bit more, some areas look crowded, but there are some areas where, you know, the houses are still spaced apart. I like that. I like privacy. I don't need nobody, you know, looking over my fence or, you know, seeing what's going on in my yard. You know, that's not nobody's business. So like where I live now, we got neighbors, but we're still big enough yards apart that, you know, if they go use the restroom, I can hear them in my house. You know what I mean? So
Pimpy, thank you for your time today. And next time
no problem.
We will be in a very different reality next time.
Yeah, I don't have, there's no doubt about that. But people got to keep in mind, if what we're fighting and what we think is going to happen happens, there is still going to be a little dark period as we clean house. You know what I mean? So don't panic, keep faith, and just be prepared. If you haven't been out there yet to buy your stocking up on your toilet paper, you need to get out there real quick. Do what you need to do. Get some water, get some toilet paper. God only knows the white toilet paper. But you know what I mean? Just be a little prepared just in case there is a period in which things might be a little tough. For me, I grab a crap load of, you know, cups of soups are always good. You'll hate them by the time this is done, but you won't be starving to death. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
Some people need a diet and some people need some rehab from the social media.
Yeah, I already bought it. It's got to be about 300 gallons of alcohol just in case, because if I go without that, then I'm going to go out there and start helping people shoot. Just kidding.
Thank you, Pimpy. Thank you so much.
No problem, sweetie. It's nice to see you.
Always. Let me stop it here.
And your hair looked like it got really long, by the way.